The complete works of Swami Vivekananda, The Future of India, address by Swami Vivekananda, Part 6. Now, as to the details, they of course have to be worked out through generations. But this is merely a suggestion in order to show you that these quarrels should cease. Especially, I do regret that in Muslim times there should be so much dissension between the castes. This must stop. It is useless on both sides, especially on the side of the higher caste, the Brahmin, because the day for these privileges and exclusive claims is gone. The duty of every aristocracy is to dig its own grave, and the sooner it does so, the better. The more it delays, the more it will fester, and the worse its death will be. It is the duty of the Brahmin, therefore, to work for the salvation of the rest of the mankind in India. If he does that, and so long as he does that, he is a Brahmin. But he is no Brahmin when he goes out about making money. You, on the other hand, should give him help only to the real Brahmin who deserves it. That leads to heaven. But sometimes a gift to another person who does not deserve it leads to the other place, says our scripture. You must be on your guard about that. He only is the Brahmin who has no secular employment. Secular employment is not from the Brahmin but for the other castes. To the Brahmins I appeal that they must work hard to raise the Indian people by teaching them what they know, by giving out the culture that they have accumulated for centuries. It is clearly the duty of the Brahmins of India to remember what real Brahminhood is. As Manu says, all these privileges and honors are given to the Brahmin because within him is the treasure of virtue. He must open that treasure and distribute its valuables to the world. It is true that he was the earliest preacher to the Indian races. He was the first to renounce everything in order to attain to the higher realization of life before others could reach to the idea. It was not his fault that he marched ahead of the other caste. Why did the other castes not so understand and do as he did? Why did they sit down and be so lazy and let the Brahmins win the race? But it is one thing to gain an advantage and another thing to preserve it for evil use. Whenever power is used for evil, it becomes diabolical. It must be used for good only. So this accumulated culture of the ages, of which the Brahmin has been the trustee, he must now give it to the people at large. And it was because he did not give it to the people that the Mohammedan invasion was possible. It was because he did not open this treasury to the people from the beginning that for 1,000 years we have been trodden under the heels of everyone who chose to come to India. It was through that we became degraded, and the first task must be to break open the cells that hide the wonderful treasures which our common ancestors accumulated. Bring them out and give them to everybody. And the Brahmin must be the first to do it. There is an old superstition in Bengal that if a cobra that bites sucks out his own poison from the patient, the man must survive. Well then, the Brahmin must suck out his own poison. To the non-Brahmin castes I say, wait, be not in a hurry. Do not seize every opportunity of fighting the Brahmin because, as I have shown, you are suffering from your own fault. Who told you to neglect spirituality and Sanskrit learning? What have you been doing all this time? Why have you been indifferent? Why do you now fret and fume because everybody else had more brains, more energy, more pluck and go than you? Instead of wasting your energies in vain discussions and quarrels in the newspapers, instead of fighting and quarreling in your own homes, which is sinful, use all your energies in acquiring the culture which the Brahmin has, and the thing is done. Why do you not become Sanskrit scholars? Why do you not spend millions to bring Sanskrit education to all the castes of India? That is the question. The moment you do all these things, you are equal to the Brahmin. That is the secret power of India. Sanskrit and prestige go together in India. As soon as you have that, none dare say anything against you. That is the one secret. Take that up. The whole universe, to use the ancient Advaitist simile, is in a state of self-hypnoticism. It is will that is the power. It is the man of strong will that throws, as it were, a halo round him and brings all people to the same state of vibration as he has in his own mind. Such gigantic men do appear. And what is the idea? When a powerful individual appears, his personality infuses his thoughts into us. And many of us come to have the same thoughts. And thus we become powerful. Why is it that organizations become so powerful? Do not say the organization is material. Why is it, to take a case in point, that 40 millions of Englishmen rule 300 millions of people here? What is it, the psychological explanation? These 40 millions put their wills together, and that means infinite power, and you 300 millions have a separate will, separate from each other. Therefore, to make a great future India, the whole secret lies in organization, accumulation of power, coordination of the wills.